TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Dusty Rhodes, his office is up there with Ted Turner's and everybody, So I go in there and the secretary says, Dusty, we'll see you now. So I got up out of my chair and I walk into his office and he was on the phone and he's talking to someone and he goes, hold on a second. And he goes, kid, here's your contract. He goes, have your attorney look it over and get back to me. He gets back on the phone. Now I'm thinking to myself,
wow.
She offered me a contract? So I start thumbing through it. And it says, your first year, $75,000. And the next year doubles to $150,000. On top of merchandise and everything.
Yeah.
So you're making basically 6 figures starting, And I'm thinking, my heart is just going. And I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm holding the contract and I'm waiting for him to get off the phone, but he's not getting off the phone. He keeps talking. He goes, hold on a second. Yes, what? And I go, Dusty, do you mind if I sign this right now? I don't even have an attorney. And he goes, sure. He goes, welcome to WCW. And I was like, wow, I'm so excited, man, So the first one I want to tell is my father. My dad, let me tell you who my dad is, okay? My dad is a Jew from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
My name was Marc, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to tell my father. So I got no money on me. I go out to the phone booth at CNN and I call my dad, collect. And back then, this is 1991.
Yeah.
They say, you have a collect call from, and you say, it's Mark, your son, And my dad, he don't accept collect calls. So I said, Dad, please, it's an emergency. So my dad's like, they.
Yeah.
So he says, what's going on? I go, Dad, I'm at the CNN Center, and Dusty Rhodes they just offered me a contract, Dad. And he goes, Mark, I'm so proud of you, son. He goes, I always knew you were going to make it. And he goes, well, what they got you doing? I go, well, Dad, they got me doing this Little Richard gimmick. He goes, Little Richard? Isn't that fag Schwarzer? So I go, yeah, but Dad, they're paying me $100,000 a year. He goes, Mark, I always liked that Little Richard. But it was, my dad used to work my corner when I was a boxer.
Oh, wow, okay.
So my dad was so excited I made it to professional wrestling now. So my debut is on a pay-per-view. And my dad has all his friends over. My dad was a police officer, so our detective, and my dad had all his police officer friends over. Mm-hmm. And they were the same guys who used to go watch me box.
Oh, okay.
So they were always like, man, your son's tough, Happy. And my dad's nickname was Happy. So my dad invites them all over. And they're all in the living room. And all of a sudden, my Tutti Frutti music comes on. It's Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
And I come walking out to the microphone. And I stand up and I go to the microphone. And in the room, my dad tells me later, the room is silent.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm so pretty, I was born a little girl.
I remember that.
Goes, hey, babe. He goes, at least he's making good money.
That's great.
Yeah, but you know what? It was a great time in my life. And my dad has since passed. And I'm just glad that he was able to see that, I did make it. That was okay. Well, what happened was, like I said, it was Rick Ryder was going back and forth and doing a lot of jobs for WCW. He'd drive up to Atlanta, and one of the trips, I said to him, I said, I would love to go, and you think they would use me? And he says, I don't know, you look good, they may pick you, sometimes we go. So he told Dusty Rhodes was booking at the time. He told Dusty about me, and they brought me up. And they used me the first time I went there. I was used in a tag team match against Doom.
Yes.
Bush Reed and Ron Simmons. Ron
Butch Reed and Ron Simmons.
And Woman was their manager.
Yes.
And so they beat the crap out of me. I mean, it was like, I thought this stuff was fake. They really took some liberties. I mean, they just really put it to me.
Wow.
And it was an experience I'll never forget. But it was shortly after that, I went back again. I'd get paid my $150, drive 9.5 hours back home, and then drive back again the next time they had a TV taping. But Dusty Rhodes stopped me after after a match, and I thought I did terrible in the match. And they said, Dusty would like to see you. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, I was just maybe forgot some spots that I was supposed to do. I couldn't remember what it was, but I just felt really bad about the match.
Yeah.
And I go, Dustin, listen, before you say that, I'm sorry about that match. You know, and he goes, oh, no, I can't listen about that match. He goes, did anybody ever tell you look like Little Richard? And I said, Little Richard? I go, who's Little Richard? Like, I was thinking he was talking about a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, wop, bop, loo, bop, wop, bop, boo. And I said, no, I never heard that before. He goes, yeah. He goes, man, I think I've got a gimmick for you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my gosh, could this be the break I'm looking for? You know, at the time I'm making $17,000 a year digging swimming pools.
Wow.
You know, my life is just spun out of control. You know, from being real successful in sports to just getting into a lifestyle that was not I wasn't very proud of, you know?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I'm thinking I got this break, you know? And he tells me that he'd like to see me. He set up an appointment for me to come to the CNN Center to talk to him about his ideas.
Yeah.
So my friend Mark Hildreth was living in Atlanta at the time. So I came up to stay with him, and they repossessed my Isuzu pickup truck.
Oh, man.
So Mark gave me a ride to CNN Center. I mean, it was just the worst time of my life.
Yeah.
And I was just like praying something good would happen.
TitleMatchNetwork.com